Warning. Listening to this show may result in increased levels of inspiration, motivation, and innovation. Side effects can include the immediate urge to take massive action to build a better business and life for yourself and others. You've been warned. Welcome to Influencers Radio with your host, Jack Mize.
And welcome back to another edition of Influencers Radio. Today's guest is going to really dig into something that I love digging into. We are going to be talking about self-perception and the way that people view themselves versus the way that others view them. And so I want you to really think and think hard, and we're going to go deep into some of the psychological and even, the way society looks at this. And I almost view this as an exercise in anthropology even. So I'm really excited about this today because my guest is Crystal Cave. Now, Crystal, she helps what she calls not so skinny women learn to style and love the unique bodies that they are in now. She's been involved with the styling and unique branding and imaging from industries and companies from the NFL to the auto industry, Mercedes-Benz, to celebrities like Taylor Swift. And she's taken that and is helping what she is calling not so skinny women. So the fact is, we all know someone, I bet, that fits that, but I want to find out exactly what that is. So welcome to Influencers Radio, Crystal Cave. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on because, when I first was kind of following you and seeing, because by the way, what really captured me is when I see your pictures online, and I thought, wow, those pictures, they say pictures speak, a thousand words. Right. Those pictures are just scream what you're about. And that's when that really captured me. I started following you and I thought, wow, this is some pretty unique stuff. And I thought, how can I do a show with her on this topic? Because here I am, a guy that people think, aren't going to, don't understand the real problems that these women are facing. But the fact is, we all know. So whether it's a sister, a wife, a daughter, there's always someone. So let's talk about that. When you talk about helping not so skinny women, let's get that right out of the way. What is your definition of a not so skinny woman?
Of course. So how I typically define a not so skinny woman, which a lot of times it's funny because they kind of define it for themselves. But my definition is women who are oversized, like US 10. And a lot of times there's women who have recently gone through a weight gain or weight loss, or they've had some transition. So a lot of times the women that come to me are women who just don't know the bodies they're in anymore. They're unfamiliar territory. And my sweet spot is typically women between the sizes of 10 to 20 US. And that's my total sweet spot of women. I know how to help them 100%. Outside of that, I have people that come to me as well. And all the same skills are applicable to them. But my sweet spot is totally those women between the 10 and 20 range.
Well, that whole size thing escapes me, as I'm sure it does most men. When you say 10 to 20, because, guy.
Yeah, you don't know what that means.
We have no idea what that means. And even guy, in everything that I see that you do, I kind of almost translate it to myself to the way that guys think about this stuff. And one is in dressing themselves. Yeah. When we talk about styling, you're helping women to style that's going to give them the best image for the body that they have, giving them confidence, regardless of what size their body is. And I know as a guy, when I'm going to pick out pants for whatever reason, for men, there's a fine line between a size 42 waist and a size 32 waist, depending on where you put the,
right. And it's all about proportions.
Where you wear the belt, you could be either one. And the fact is, people try to dress for maybe a body they want to have, or maybe they dress for a body that they think they have that they don't really have, and it just doesn't work. What do you see as being some of those big, obstacles for women, the not so skinny women, that keeps them from being able to dress for that confidence that they could have with the body that they're in?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest things is that women just have this preconceived notion that nothing works for them. And that's comes a lot of times just from stepping into a dressing room and you don't know your body type. And by not knowing that, you pick out the wrong things. So then you leave a dressing room empty-handed and really demoralized. And a lot of times it really reflects on your own self-worth. So not only is it about a size, but it's women feel that their self-worth is connected to, but also about they just a lot of times don't know how to dress their always changing body. So that's the huge first thing that I noticed with everyone. And then the other thing is a lot of people think they don't have the time for it, and that the celebrities only are able to do that because they have a bunch of people behind them teaching, pulling outfits for them, which actually isn't true. I mean, we are, and I can speak being behind some of the biggest celebrities out there. Of course, there's a lot more that goes into their brand imaging, but the same skills that are used to actually style the celebrities, everyday people, if they knew them, could get dressed so much faster and save themselves so much time and even money on clothing that they buy that doesn't work for them and that they don't like, so they never wear it. It's so funny to me because there's this big thing around fashion that it's so unapproachable, when really, if you just knew a few things, it would make your life so much easier. And just the day to day of feeling amazing in your body and having your style reflect that is just so easy.
And so think about, let's go back to what you're talking about. Some of these things that people have in their head, my body type isn't the same as others, or right. I have a weird body shape. And, I guess a lot of time that hits them when they are looking at this outfit on a mannequin in the store, that it's nobody's body type or shape is like that, right?
They aren't.
It's
right.
just not there. And so they think that, well, this won't work for me because it won't look like that on my body, So what's the first thing that they need to do when they're doing that, because that's the benchmark they use is, how can I look like that when I put the same outfit on?
Right. Yeah. And it's crazy because it won't look like that on their body or anybody else's. Everybody could wear the same thing and look completely different in the same outfit. We all have very unique and different body shapes. So the fact that it is a misconception that I have a weird shape is actually interesting to me, because we actually all have completely different shapes. I mean, what you're seeing on the mannequins are more of an hourglass figure, which is the quote unquote ideal body shape. And that's really how you do style your body around that principle. But only 8% of women in the U.S. are truly hourglass proportioned. So that also means that 92% of the clothing in the stores is not going to fit, or 100% of clothing in store is not going to fit 92% of women. And even women who are hourglass still have issues with the clothing. So it's a universal, almost truth that no one clothing item is going to look the same on everyone, because we all have that unique body shape that's not going to be exactly the same as the person next to us.
So it's one of those, this unique problem affects everyone.
Yeah,
all right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so one of the things that I see, it's almost like there's an extreme, and it goes, it's, I guess the people that get it and understand how to dress and have this body confidence are the ones that you don't necessarily notice. They don't stand out because they look the part, but then you see the extremes. To me, there's an extreme of the person that is overly optimistic of their body type, or you kind of wonder, do they own a mirror? Right.
Right.
And then you have the other extreme, the people that are trying to hide flaws that may not exist, by,
right.
Wearing things. And I see this a lot, especially when I see these transformation shows. So these people are wearing all these, blousy, big, clothes. And it's like when they put something that actually works for them, it's like, holy smokes, where did that come from? Right.
It's crazy how that can make such a big difference. And I mean, it's I see no bigger testament to that than on the Today Show when they do the makeovers for women in the crowd, or growing up, I watched What Not to Wear and all those shows. It's just by simply fitting the body they're in, they hide less and they can actually sparkle in the world.
And so really what you do is there's a science to this that no matter what body shape you are, no matter what, body, type you are, there is an optimal way for you to dress that's going to be the best for you. There's something out there always that's going to make you be the best you and give you the most confidence, right?
Absolutely. And it's really just knowing that body shape. And at first it takes a little bit of that learning curve, but once it's ingrained in you, it's part of who you are and just your whole brain chemistry that it makes things just flow so much easier. Women don't realize the clothing sizes are there just as a convenience. And so, it might be bigger on the top or smaller on the bottom. And you have to really know your body well to know the types of items and the types of cuts that you need to be getting. And it's I hate to say it's so easy, but once you really know it, it is easy. It's as easy as going to the store and picking up milk or something.
Well, I wish it was that easy. And maybe it is. So, and I know this affects, men or women. And so, when people are shopping, and this really has probably a much deeper philosophical, a weight to it, is that it's like happiness. Happiness, generally they say happiness is something that you remember or you look forward to. Very few people experience it, in the now. And a lot of times when people are shopping and they really want to look their best, and men, I'm going to go out and admit and reveal this in the same way that you go out and you find and you think, you know what? I'm not quite at my fighting weight yet. I really don't want to spend this kind of money because I know I'm going to lose a few pounds next year, next month, next week. And I want to wait and kind of spend the money on the wardrobe when I get to that optimal, weight that I want. And that there's people that are living in clothes that are just not right for their body or any other body because they're pretty confident that things are going to change here pretty soon. And, they just won't dress for the body that they have now. And I know you're a big proponent of, there's so much mindset to this, of having confidence in the body that you have, and let's make that and let's dress that the way that it deserves. Do you see that where a lot of people are saying, I want to get this type of outfit, I want to spend the money on myself, but I want to wait till I deserve it by losing X amount of weight?
That's the vast majority of people, actually, because we all have this idea in our head of this ideal future self. And instead of really loving the person and body we're in now, and it's it doesn't the question I always ask is, are you doing everything in your life waiting to lose the weight? Because a lot of things, it might just not be style, it might be dating, it might be career. A lot of people wait to lose the weight. So there's some idea of perfect, which there is no real perfect in life. And they just keep waiting and not living the lives they're in now. And whether you gain 20 pounds or lose 20 pounds from where you are, if you're feeling like crap about yourself and not actually putting in that self-care to really take the time every day to put on things that you love and taking care of your body, you're not going to feel good when you lose weight either. You're still going to have those insecurities in your body, and your style will still reflect that as well. And those types of preconceived notions that you'll suddenly have this perfect life once you lose weight is really inaccurate, because if you're having that sense of not feeling grounded within your body, it doesn't give you the right mindset to really go out in the world with confidence at 0, 10, or 20.
And, I guess that comes down to, what we talked about was body confidence, which is a big, topic in the media, body confidence, because I know that you work, your kind of specialty is with the not so skinny women, but it also happens with people that are, thin, that are thinner than what people think the ideal. There's been a lot over this last year over, fat shaming and even thin shaming. We talked about Taylor Swift earlier about people, she's too skinny. And, so it kind of happens both ways, but it really comes down to, not necessarily, you could either try to craft this perfect body that you are envisioning, or you can work on gaining the more realistic, the confidence in the body that you have. Talk a little bit about that in the building of body confidence and what goes on in someone's mind and some of the things that they have to kind of have that heart to heart with themselves and understand to be able to create that confidence in the body that they have.
Well, the biggest thing is just realizing that body confidence is a form of self-care. Like it's almost like a fundamental human right. And that's why I love what I'm doing, because I really help women realize that in themselves. And so that's like my inner driving force of that, because it's such a huge thing. And how you do that is by actually caring for the body you're in now, whether it's picking out the clothes that feel amazing to you and actually spending that time on yourself every morning, to, especially for those of you who are mothers or work at home, getting dressed, putting on makeup, doing your hair, that all makes you feel better, which then you bring that out into the world. And it might seem idealistic to say make it a better place, but you at least go out into the world with a better mindset so you can feel more grounded in yourself and your life, not just your body.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the biggest parts of it, more than picking out this type of shirt or these type of pants is having that body confidence and understanding what goes with that. And I think we've all seen, when we've watched the TV shows, the transition shows, the makeovers, how people have gotten in this slump or just gotten into the habit of these are the type of clothes that they wear. This is my style. And when someone else chooses that for them, and so many of them think, I know my style, I know what works for me, I know, but when they kind of relinquish that and let someone else do the picking for them, you see some remarkable things happen. And people that just absolutely look stunning in things that they never would have picked for themselves or thought that just isn't their style. Where do you see the advantages of, at least while you're, learning how to do this, or you're, getting your body confidence, the advantages of having someone else, give that other set of eyes to help you, or maybe design a style for you, that gives you a perspective that you may have never seen before?
Well, the interesting thing is we all, what I see is all these women think there's so much information out there, I can kind of DIY this. And a lot of what happens is they're kind of lost in confusion, and there's not really focused down, actually acquiring the skills that can help them consistently, be connected with their body and also have the style that reflects that. So what ends up happening is they kind of just go into overwhelm. So they end up wearing the clothing that doesn't fit them. It's too big. It's too small. It's all black. There's different ways that we hide. And by having someone help you, it starts to open your mind to the possibility of actually taking those risks in your life. And we have all these stories in our head of I can't do this, or I can't wear this. And a stylist, I always find in my work, is the catalyst for helping you break through those blocks and those stories that you have. And then really the important thing, and I know we've talked about this in the past, just the fact that I I don't want to just create someone and give them clothes and then they don't know how to go into a store for themselves. It's really about starting them out with that confidence and helping them find the inspiration, and then equipping them with the skills that they can actually feel confident, not only in their bodies, but going into the stores and putting together an outfit every day. So it's like, it kind of has this trickle effect.
Well, let's put this in a perspective of, give me an example of someone maybe that you worked with, or someone that's gone through this transformation that has seen that, well, this is the way I am. This is, and I completely understand that do it yourself, because, men, there's, I don't know how many different men's magazines, women's magazines, how to get the look of so-and-so, and what they'll almost inevitably do is take that information and then force it to fit what they're already wearing, and instead of actually going out there. And so give me an example of someone that has kind of relinquished it and said, okay, you know what, Crystal, I'm going to let you do what you do. And what kind of the transformation has happened, not just physically, but mentally.
Yeah. So the person that first came to mind is actually, she's a really good friend, and she came to me and was like, I've had this transition from, she had worked a 9-to-5 job and is now an entrepreneur. And she's like, all I wear is sweatpants. And we really dug into why she did that. But it was interesting because I was like, well, why don't you do this and this? And giving her suggestions. And it was interesting every time we then go back together and recoup, we would have follow-ups, and she's like, it was slowly more, it's okay, she wore a bright color. Okay. She actually put on a dress. That was great. She felt great. She actually, then, was taking the time every day to put her whole look together and really put that self-care. And then it was also we also made sure at the beginning we organized her closet. So it was a boutique. So that also helped with all this transition as well. And so it was really interesting to see her. And this was about a year ago now, I started working with her, just in a year, how much it's also helped her. I see these photos on her website now, and she's she looks like a goddess. And not she wasn't beautiful before, but the style and how she emanates it, not only through the body confidence, but just the colors, and just, it's so her. It's not I projected this image onto her. I wanted her to look and style her exactly how my style is. It's so her, it's very earthy and just so rich. And I feel just seeing the transition of what her pictures were on her website a year ago, and then looking at the new website she just put out, it's just, she looks like a completely different person. And it was not, it was some work, but it wasn't tons where it was we were creating her into something that she wasn't. And I think that's what made it so easier, so much easier for her, was that it's I broke it down for her that she could actually go into the stores, and she's texted me a few times oh my God, I got all this amazing stuff. I actually feel good and confident, and I can, she's also texted me it was so easy to actually pick out clothing in the morning for traveling or just for her daily life. I don't know. It's just these small things that become big encumbrances, big issues in all our day-to-day lives. But just by these small things, it was slowly more and more this, almost a caterpillar that became a butterfly, which was beautiful to witness, not only because I care about her as a client, but she's also a good friend.
Well, and it is, remarkable how this can have such a huge effect that I think people, don't realize how it can amplify so many different areas of your life just by getting this one thing down. Now, one thing I've got to put out there, because it's on, I'm sure a lot of people's minds, and it's one of the things that in the back of my mind is people say, you help not so skinny women do this. Aren't you just promoting that it's okay to not be fit? You're promoting that it's okay to not be healthy. Is this a bad message that you're sending?
Well, obviously, I don't agree with that. And the reason I don't agree with that is that style and caring for your body is the same self-care as putting the right foods into it and moving your body through exercise or whatever you like to do. And it's really, if you do not take care of the body you're in now, you're not going to keep doing that. And it's not going to lead to healthy lifestyle choices if you're neglecting your body. And I really, like, as I've mentioned, view style as the ultimate form of self-care that we express to the world. And by saying that it's promoting, like some people may say it promotes obesity or like bad health, as you were mentioning, it doesn't. It's really just about treating the body well, which is ultimately what we want to do with like all these ideas we have out there about losing weight and being a specific size.
And it's almost to me like you're attacking this from the opposite end of a lot. A lot of fitness people are saying, well, let's go ahead and get you skinny so you can look good and wear the clothes that you want to wear. And which may, in turn be sending a bad message, maybe on the psychological health of a lot of folks.
And especially with the new year, I had a friend call me up yesterday, and she's also a client. A lot of my friends apparently become my clients. It's like funny, or like my clients become my good friends because I feel so invested in them. And she needed a reset of her mind because with the New Year's resolutions, so many people are putting out about losing weight, and she wasn't feeling good in her body. So then she was actually neglecting it more because of all these messages that were going on about losing weight, and she wasn't appreciating what she had now.
Well, yeah. And what you just said, some of the fitness folks that I've talked to, and I've had the great fortune of interviewing some really powerful and smart fitness folks. And the one thing that is common amongst all of them is they hit mindset before they ever talk about doing an exercise because of how much the mind. And that's really kind of what you're hitting on. And I'm sure that you've had people that have gone through this exercise and worked with you that all of a sudden now they have the confidence and they're moving, they're doing things, they're getting out there and doing things that are required or necessary to actually lead a healthier lifestyle outside of just what they're wearing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just like the small thing of getting dressed for yourself every day can lead to healthier choices. It's like a nutritionist would say, like starting your day out with a healthy breakfast would then lead to healthier, diet choices throughout the day. It's the same thing. Just getting dressed in a way that is really amazing for yourself and reflects your style affects so many things. It's how you carry yourself, how you interact with other people. It affects so many things beyond just like how you look. It's how you carry yourself too.
Well, I got to say that, looking when I first saw what you're doing and seeing the things that you're doing with others, it's nothing short of art. And in my mind, it really is remarkable. And it's, one of the reasons that I, want to have you on Influencers Radio, because you are a true influencer to people that, this affects so many, and so even so many that they don't even realize it. And it really is nothing short of remarkable, the transitions that I've seen, that you've, helped people out there. That is just stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And I really want people to be able to take a look and see this for themselves. How can they find out more about Crystal Cave and what you are up to and what you have coming up?
Yeah, of course. My main website that I put out blogs every week with style tips and also like body mindset is exocrystalcave.com. I also am the founder of an online community right now that is hosted on Facebook called the Not So Skinny Community. So if you search that, it's free. You can go in and celebrate your style and body. And I go in there and I answer some people's style questions and help them, just like with small things, feel better going through the day. And community is such an important part of what I do as well. Like women bonding together and knowing that they're not alone is so important for me. And I also you can check out NotSoSkinnyStyle.com, where I'm actually having an Instagram challenge for January, and I also have a video series coming out it's all free, so it's all educational, and I'm more than happy to have the women check that out and just get the style advice for free, whether you work with me or someone else. I really just love educating women. So Exo Crystal Cave, NotSoSkinnyStyle.com, and you can check out the Facebook Not So Skinny Style community. So those are like the big ways to contact me. And on every social media platform, I am at Exo Crystal Cave.
Perfect. Remember that, Exo Crystal Cave. I guess that's hugs and kisses, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
It's funny. It's like about loving your body, so it's appropriate, right?
That is perfect. ExoCrystalCave.com, and remember Exo Crystal Cave and Not So Skinny, and I bet you're going to find her. We'll also put those links on our on the show post page for sure. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show today and sharing this with people, because I really do think it's something that can have a huge impact on folks, not just in their personal lives, but in their business lives, and relationships as well. So thank you so much for coming on to Influencers Radio.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
All right. Well, there you have it. Check this out, because I could guarantee you, if it's not you, I would be almost could guarantee someone that you love would be able to benefit and really to see the remarkable work that Crystal is doing. Definitely check it out. Until next time on Influencers Radio, remember, you are the only real game changer.
You've been listening to Influencers Radio. To get all past shows and updates on future shows, visit influencersradio.com today or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/influencersradio.